back, it's me, Chef Chelsea Marie, and I'm here to show you another super easy recipe. I know you guys really enjoyed the last coconut pie that we did, and I'm here to show you another super simple dessert that you could whip up. A few guys messaged me and said that this was a super easy recipe and your family really enjoyed it. One girl even told me that she made this recipe like 4 times in 2 weeks. So I'm hoping that you guys love this one just as much. Today we're going to be making a coconut chocolate no-bake cheesecake. That's right, no baking, so the kids can get involved here. So I'm actually going to start. I am going to show you guys how to crush your cookies up the good old-fashioned way with some good old elbow grease. So I'm going to go ahead and put my chocolate sandwich cookies into my bag. I have a good old Ziploc bag here. So I'm just going to open these cookies and start dunking them in here. So if you don't have these sandwich cookies, you could use any other cookie, but I guess you would be able to call it a chocolate coconut no-bake cheesecake. You just have to call it coconut no-bake cheesecake. But you can use any cookie you have. You can use some shortbread cookies. You could use, like I always say, if you want to make this gluten-free, you could actually use oats and nuts ground up together, and that works pretty well. I'm just gonna dump these over here. Oops. Get that later. Dropped it on the ground. So I'm just gonna really move the air, and I'm gonna start to crush these up. So I'm gonna use a rolling pin to start crushing my cookies up. Please forgive me with the noise. It is gonna get kind of loud. Let me see if I can do this more quietly. Obviously, don't do this while people are sleeping because it's quite noisy right now. So we want to crush it till it's like sand-like in texture. So for my crust, I'm using these cookies and some good old salted butter. If you only have unsalted butter, do add like a teaspoon of salt in there because you don't want your dessert to be too sweet. So did you miss me? We were off air for a little while, but I'm back now, and I'm here to show you guys some really fun recipes. I have a good couple that you're gonna love coming up. Alright, we are almost there. I think I have to relieve a little bit of air so that I can really crush them. Okay, almost there. Alright, so very good. So like I said, the base of our crust is nice melted salted butter. We have our cookies that are now crumbs. You can see that they are like fully crummy in there. And then for our filling, very little bit of ingredients. We're using this Nestle cream. Then we're going to use some cream cheese, a little bit of lemon juice. You could use lime juice if that's what you have, no problem. The lime is going to help cut that sweetness so you get a nice tangy but sweet cheesecake. I have a little bit of coconut essence. If you don't have coconut, you could use vanilla. I'm going to be using this Maggi coconut milk powder and some good old granulated sugar. Alright, so let's finish that crust. So I'm going to dump my cookie crumbs into my 9-inch pie dish. Whoop. I'll get that later too. And now I'm going to put the melted butter in there. Going to give that a quick mix with my hands. Looks good. And now that it's kind of come together, you can use your hands again, but I am going to use, I'm going to use my hands. You could use the back of this measuring cup if you did want to like not use your hands. That's a-okay as well. Alright, so I'm kind of just pressing it up against the sides of my dish. Kind of just making it its way around. And then just kind of filling the middle as well. would bake your crust, but you totally don't need to with this recipe. It's gonna firm up very nicely in the fridge, so you do want to make this recipe in advance. You don't want to make this now for now, because you do want your cheesecake to have time to set in the fridge. If not, you'll be eating cheesecake mousse, which is delicious as well, but you're making a cheesecake. Alright, so let me just give my hands a quick rinse. I'll get rid of this. Okay, great. Filling time. So my crust is nice and packed there. So I have some softened cream cheese. Cream cheese I just kind of left out for a little while till it gets down to almost room temperature. If you don't have the time to wait for your cream cheese to get down to room temperature, please zap that in the microwave. So to this, I am going to add my Maggi coconut milk powder. And let me grab a scissors. Great, I'm going to add my Maggi coconut milk powder. Then I'm going to add my coconut essence, my lemon juice, and my granulated sugar. Do you guys see that I'm just dumping everything into this bowl? Like seriously, it's super easy. This is like when you're not in the mood to make something fancy, but you want to eat something fancy. And then I'm going to add this Nestle cream. I'm adding the full can, because this is going to make it nice and creamy and delicious. Alright, great. It's easy like that, y'all. Cool, I'm gonna use my hand mixer now and just start to mix this slowly. Try not to make a mess everywhere. Alright, it's kind of getting together. I can turn it up a little bit. Try not to be like me, I'm gonna like taste it. You want to keep mixing until you get most of those lumps out. You don't want any lumpy cheesecake. Alright. So, for those now joining us, we're making a no-bake chocolate coconut cheesecake. This recipe, you guys can all find it on NestleRecipesCaribbean.com. And I think we are just about done mixing up our filling. Our filling had just a few ingredients. Let me taste it just for good measure. Oh yeah, really, really yummy. And not too sweet, which I don't know if you guys made the other pie, the coconut pie. It was also not too sweet, which is like why I think so many of you guys really enjoyed that one. So I'm gonna now just spread my cheesecake filling out into my crust. Just gonna start to smoothen that out. Does not have to be perfect, so no judgment. Okay. It out, and as soon as it's done, I'm gonna pop this baby in the fridge. Okay. Can you tell I'm like trying to be a perfectionist, even though I tell you that it's not supposed to be perfect? Alright, so here comes the optional part. You guys can top this with some nuts, some chocolate shavings. You can do toasted coconut. You can do freshly grated coconut. That would be super yummy too. But I'm just going to do some good old-fashioned mini chocolate chips, because I know that's what my family will like. So you guys can totally customize this to how you guys know your friends and family will enjoy it. Alright, I'm going nice and heavy with my chocolate chips. I'm not letting any of it waste. There we have it, our no bake. You guys can kind of see the crust, and this is it filled. Our no bake coconut chocolate cheesecake, and I'm gonna pop this into the fridge. I'm actually gonna cheat and put it in the freezer. I'm gonna pop this into the freezer for about an hour and a half. But if you were putting it in the fridge, overnight is fantastic, or 4 hours for the minimum. All right, so I'll check you guys back just now to see how this comes out. Alright guys, I finally pulled my cheesecake out of the freezer. It is nice and firm, no jiggling over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut myself a big old slice. Alright, so this is my coconut chocolate no bake cheesecake. This recipe again is on NestleRecipesCaribbean.com. Okay, job there. Let's clean that up a bit. Alright, there we go. No bake cheesecake. I'm gonna grab a fork and start to dig in. Alright guys, bye. See you guys next time.